truth universally acknowledged that an avid sewist in possession of a lazy afternoon must be in want of a cozy project. So that's what we're doing today, you guys. We are bringing it back down. It's gonna be cozy vibes, chill energy, and straight lines. We're making a little quilt, a little lap blanket for two reasons. The first being, I already have all the supplies because I bought them ages ago and just never did the project. And the second reason being, I need to sew straight lines, straight, uncomplicated lines over and over and over. I know some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't want anything complex. I don't want anything that's gonna cause me stress or strife. I want something fun and creative, but also cozy and lazy, and a little quilt is perfect for that. Let's get into it. In this house, we craft in pajamas, and we're bringing the energy back down. My goodness. I even filled my water bottle up already for this one because I just want to go upstairs in my sewing room and just kind of vibe, like just kind of chill, sew something. I mean, it's gonna be a quilt. Like, oh, that was kind of scary. I lost my equilibrium there for a second. Watch a movie and just do the dang thing. Remember to drink your water. So now we just, what is my voice? Why is it doing this? Am I getting sick? Could just be allergies. Oh, you guys are real close. Isn't this cozy and fun? Don't look up my nose. We're looking for the fabric. I know it's here somewhere. I'm pretty sure I put it in a bag and then put it in, oh, it's right there. Got it! Jumped right out of me. If it was a snake, it would have bit me. I'll show you what I have. Basically what happened was months ago, I decided I wanted to make a quilt, but it was still like the really hot part of summertime and it just didn't feel right. Now that we're kind of like into fall, the leaves are changing, the apples are almost ready, time for something cozy. And I remembered that I had all this fabric, so I might as well just make it, right? I'm basing this off of a quilt that I found online, and you can even buy the whole kit for this quilt online. When I went to go buy it, it was completely sold out. And so I just thought maybe I can source the materials myself. Like, I'm doing that all the time anyways, so I might as well try. And I think I did an okay job. I mean, it's not like I knocked it out of the park by any means, and I'll show you like the color differences and everything. I don't quilt a whole lot. However, I am interested in quilting, so maybe doing it a little bit will help me feel more comfortable with it. I have quilted before, and last year I quilted like that petticoat. That was really, really fun and I enjoyed that. So I'm hoping that this is also just kind of like a nice, relaxing, but also somewhat quick project because I don't want this to take forever. Like, I'm not in this 40 plus hours. I'm in this like 8 or 9 hours. That's why it's only gonna be, you know, so big. Maybe just a little lap quilt. Something to just cover your legs when it's cold outside, but not quite freezing. That's what we're going for. So I'll show you the fabric. This is our color scheme. It's fairly rainbow-esque, but also natural because it's gonna look like the sunset with the mountains and everything. And then this is the quilt backing that I got. I'm pretty sure I have some quilt batting somewhere. Oh, it might be. I saw a bag over there and I thought maybe that was quilt batting, but it looks like it's maybe a wig bag. I don't know, I'll look for it later. I'm sure I have some downstairs. But yeah, that's the color scheme that we're going for. It's bright, but it's also cozy, but it's also outdoorsy and kind of adventure-y. Maybe I'll bring it camping with me. Maybe not. Who knows? Behold, the only footage I have from when I actually purchased the fabric. I spent a good hour just going through the colors that my local fabric shop has. It was not even a lot of colors, but I just couldn't really make a decision because I didn't really know what I was doing or like exactly how I wanted to execute it. But once I did purchase the fabric, I let it sit in my fabric store for like, I don't know, a couple of months because that seems to be what works best for me is procrastinating. And then I made sure I ironed everything. Gotta get those demons out, you know? And while I have you right here, let's just go back to this frame really quick. This is the quilt that I'm trying to recreate. Just thought I'd let you know I am following like an actual image that I found online. I did not come up with this pattern. I'm just trying to recreate something that I already saw on Pinterest. Also, you can buy this quilt, like the whole kit or the tutorial or whatever from the website. I'll have that link down below. Do not think that I am just coming up with this out of my own mind. No, I am a copycat. That's what I'm doing. I have the sky and the sea laid out, and I think the proportions are okay. This is not going to be one of those projects where I use real math. I'm just going to like eyeball it. You should be used to that by now if you're a regular around here. And if you're not a regular around here, well, come on back. We got plenty of fun stuff going on. So I'm going to move on to just sewing these strips all together, and I'll do the sky and then I'll do the sea. And then from there, I'll try and figure out the mountain pieces because they're like at a diagonal kind of line thingy. But so far so good. And I am not expecting this to be the most amazing thing. It's okay if it's just a little bit wonky. I'm just enjoying the day. And that's that's an important part about this project, because a lot of times I really stress myself out over like doing things the correct way or figuring things out or just kind of like, just giving myself anxiety in general. But this project, so far, so good, right? Straight lines. We love a good straight line. Who doesn't love to just sit, sew, watch a movie, and sew a good straight line? I love that. I love that so much. I like to just turn my little brain off, not think about anything, and just go. Once I had all of the sky pieces pretty much seamed together, I went ahead and pressed them because a pressed project is a blessed project, and we love a good iron in this house. And I did the exact same thing for like the ocean part of the blanket. That's going to kind of go on the very, very bottom. You could see that over on the right side of the screen, but it went by really, really fast, so maybe like rewind or whatever. We're going to keep going because it's mountain time, baby. Okay, so for the mountains, I really am just winging it here, but I decided to use the bias side of the fabric because I just felt like that was going to be the easiest thing in the world because it was already a straight line. Now that the blanket is actually done and I kind of have like figured things out, I don't know if I would use the biased side again. And if you don't know what the bias side is, it's pretty much just like go figure it out yourself. This is not a tutorial channel. You're just here to watch me struggle. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you learn anything from watching this channel, that's on you. I'm not here to teach. I'm just here to, I guess, hang out or something. I don't know why I'm here, you guys. I need to take a nap. Okay, get back in the zone. I used what I like to call the crisscross applesauce method, where you just crisscross different fabrics on top of other fabrics and then sew them down in hopes that they make like a landscape mountain looking design. And honestly, it worked. Like, is it the best thing in the entire world? No, it never is, and I don't expect it to be, but it did work. So 10 out of 10, A plus, kind of, B plus. A minus. I am comfortable with that, A minus. And again, in all honesty, I have never big time quilted really anything, but I did learn that you're supposed to kind of square it up before you really get into it much further. So I just wanted to make sure that my quilt top was, semi-square. I'm to the point where it's time to start sandwiching everything together. So I've got my quilt top, my quilt back, and the batting. So I'm just gonna do a little quilt sandwich and then pin all 3 layers together so that they're secure. And then it's like time to start quilting. I thought I was going to get to this earlier this morning, like 9:30, 11 o'clock. It is 5 p.m. and we are just starting. And sometimes that happens and you just have to embrace it because there's no going back. It is what it is. Would I have liked to start on this earlier? Absolutely, that's my preference. That is not what happened. So now we're here. And of course, none of that matters to any of you because you get to watch this start to finish. I had to suffer through the trenches of trying to learn a new skill/technique thingy while trying to also watch a documentary and keep up on all the tiny little details. So you're welcome for all of this. Effort, effort, effort. Okay, let's talk quilt sandwiches, or as Judy Garland would say, a sandwich. So I've got my quilt bottom, and then I put the little quilt batting on top, which I did find in my basement. That was a huge win because I didn't have to go buy one. And then, looks like I'm ironing again. Sometimes I feel like I just iron things to procrastinate because I don't mind ironing, but then sometimes I iron things because it really did just need to get ironed, and this is both of those times actually. It needs to be flat, and I did want to procrastinate because I just get nervous about doing things I've never done before. Okay, quilt top on top of the whole sandwich. Is any of this making any sense? You know what? It doesn't even matter if it doesn't make sense because it's not a teaching channel. Get all my little pins on. And the last time I did this process, it was for my quilted petticoat, the one that I made for the Elsa thing. You can go watch that. It's on my channel somewhere. Good luck. But last time I did this, I used quilting safety pins, but I couldn't find any of them. They're completely gone. So I just chanced it and used regular straight pins. It worked just fine, but the quilting safety pins were way, way better because they have a little closer thing on it. So they're not just an open pin. And they don't get stuck or caught on anything, and they just worked a lot better. And then finally, you guys, it was time to start quilting this bad boy. And this is what I was looking forward to the most, was the actual quilting of the thing. Again, I really didn't have much of a plan. In my mind, I kind of thought based off of the quilt that I was trying to copy a little bit, some of the lines were spaced further apart than others, and I was just trying my best to make it make sense, And I do not have a ton of thread for regular stuff, but I do have a ton of thread for specifically embroidering, and I figured that would be just fine. How big of a deal can it actually be? It's not like I'm gonna enter this in some sort of contest or that it needs to pass the test of time or something like that. It's just an activity. I'm just doing this for fun. So I went ahead and I quilted the whole thing with embroidery thread. And I will die on this hill, but matching your thread color to the like quilt color is elite, especially with this design being the way that it is. Like, it's so organic and natural looking. I think it would have like totally looked kind of silly if I'd have just used like white or black on all of the stitching for the top part. And just like that, 2 days have passed for me, but it's been no time for you. Gotta love the magical powers of editing. I shot a wedding on Saturday and it completely wiped me out. I was there all day and my camera equipment is really, really heavy. And so on Sunday, I pretty much just laid in bed and worked on some editing and a couple of panel things that I'm doing for this convention that's coming up. Feeling a lot better today. My hands are still very tired, but I think just sewing in a straight line isn't really gonna be hard. I think it's just gonna be kind of like relaxing, and I am 100% still very much feeling cozy fall, let's make a blanket vibes. Yeah, I filmed this video in September of 2023. It's taken me a while to get back into the swing of things. So that's what we're doing. I didn't get super far on the quilting last time. I'm gonna try and knock that out today. I might finish the whole thing today because it's only like 10 o'clock and I have all day to do it. Hearing myself say that out loud makes me not want to spend all day quilting. But I do have this idea because I've got quite a bit of fabric left over. When I was purchasing all the different colors, you can only buy, like the smallest you can buy is like 1/4 of a yard or something like that. Like it's not a lot, but it's more than what I needed. So I have quite a bit extra. Like I have this extra strip and this would be perfect for a matching pillow or two, because I found some pillows in my basement that I haven't used in a long time, probably because I think they're my mom's and she just never came and got them. So I guess they're mine now. That's how that works, right? Mom, if you're watching this and you want these back, let me know. I'm not gonna ruin them. I'm just gonna make pillowcases to cover them up with, okay? But if you're really dying for these pillows, I will drive up to your house and drop them off. In the meantime, though, we're gonna get back to sewing. Let's get back into this. Pajamas on, water, yes, and we're watching TV as per usual. This is where I left off, and do you see what I was saying with like some of the stitches being closer in proximity to each other than others? I think I decided to go with like the tighter stitching on like the farther details. Maybe that's what I was thinking. I don't really even remember, you guys. It's been so long since I did this video. I'm just happy to be like sitting at my computer and actually having a minute to work on something creative, because remember how I had a baby? I don't even know if I've mentioned that or not. I had a baby and it's been crazy and busy, and I get to do things for me every once in a while, and this is what I'm choosing to do. A little explanation on that strip of paper that I was showing you guys. So I have a quilting foot and it has a little measuring thingy on it. I just really didn't want to go back downstairs to get it, so I improvised with a piece of paper and I just would use it to kind of measure where my stitches should go. Oh, I just feel ridiculous telling you all that, because like, does it work? Yeah, it absolutely does work. Did I need the quilting foot? No. I still bought it, and then it arrived at my house and I just straight up never even used it. I think it's in the box that it came in to this day, and that was like months ago. You guys, months ago. What is my problem? I just needed to go down the stairs and pick it up, but then I was like, no, I'm going to use a piece of paper to measure instead, like some sort of crafting hobo. Alright everybody, we are nearing the end of this project because it looks like I'm cutting all the extra batting and stuff off, and then what am I doing with that thingy? Oh, I should have written a script, but I didn't really want to. I'm measuring and then writing lines. What are the lines? Oh, wait, am I doing the pillowcases? Is it pillowcase time? It kind of looks, oh no, this is the binding. Oh, okay. I measured up all the binding and then I turned it into like one big long strip of binding. Yes, that's what's happening here. Indeed. Lots of ironing, lots of guesswork. Is there an actual factual way that you go about and do this? Absolutely. Absolutely there is. Do I know or even abide by any of it? No, I do not. That's the thing, you guys. I could be such a professional little Patty. I could do it. But I just choose to be a chaotic Catherine. Shout out to my sister Katie, whose long name is Catherine. I love you and I miss you and I can't wait for you to move in next door. I don't use these little clips very often, but they are handy dandy. The whole quilt is quilted. I have the binding on it. I do want to hand sew the back of it just so that it's like all really neat and nice. And I'm planning on doing that tonight while I watch a movie. But I also kind of want to set myself up for like all of the hand sewing that I plan on doing for it. So I want to put a little moon in the night sky and then do like some little embroidered stars and maybe some flowers on one of the hills. I haven't quite decided yet, but I have this white fabric that I'm gonna kind of try and cut out and see if I can make like a little moon shape out of it so that I can stitch that on. And so that's kind of where I'm at. I still have plenty of time today, so I think I really am gonna try and make a couple of pillowcases. The process is gonna be literally the exact same thing that I just did for the quilt, only smaller and pillowcase sized, because I truly do have a ton of leftover fabric, and what else am I gonna use it for, because I don't really use cotton all that much. So I might as well just bust that out and just kind of set myself up to have a really nice, relaxing, cozy evening, hand sewing and probably poking my finger a couple of times, because let's get real, it will happen. And if you're still watching, just know that I'm mooning you all. That was so stupid. I'm just drawing a moon, you little sickos. All right, so here we are drawing the little crescent shape and then tracing it onto the fabric and cutting it out. There are lots of different ways I could have done this, but this is just the way that I decided to do it. Is it the best thing in the entire world? Again, no. How many times am I gonna say that in this video? Do I feel like I have to prove it to you all that I'm not, you know, some know-it-all, masterful sewer in the world? Maybe I do. Maybe I do feel like that. Does it matter? No. No, it doesn't. Boom, pillows. They don't call them throw pillows for nothing. I measured them up because I really had no idea how big I wanted to make these little pillow sham case thingies, and so I just wanted to make sure that I was, you know, at least somewhat on the right track, because how many times have I made something without really measuring properly? All too many times. Too many to even count or even remember, so I just, you know, try to measure and also try to get them as square as possible because I didn't want some wonky pillowcases. And you guys, like I said earlier, this truly is the same process as the quilt, it's just smaller, and so I layered up all of the sky pieces, layered up all the mountain pieces, layered up all the ocean pieces, and then I just stitched them all together, doing the best that I can to keep them flat and straight and square and all of those good things, but at the same time have a fun evening. And look, there it is. That's what it looks like layered up before I even sew it together. The pillowcase, honestly, maybe I should have started here because it was easier than the quilt, but at the same time I did need to stitch the quilt first because it was using the majority of the fabric and I really didn't know how much I was going to have left over. So, you know, all in all, I did it in the right way, kind of. And the pillowcases themselves were kind of like a cute little bonus, like, hooray, you did it, you made the quilt, now just make 2 more smaller versions. And look at that, you guys, they're cute and they're like somewhat similar to each other. Oh yeah, I went for a walk and look at all these birds. I felt like I was in a full-on Alfred Hitchcock movie. Like, are you kidding me with all these birds right now? Hello, so this is as far as I got yesterday, and I debated just like leaving them like this and not doing any padding or anything in it, just turning this into like the pillow shams or whatever. But the idea of quilting it kept me up all night. In a good way, like I was excited and looking forward to doing it. Plus, I have all these scraps that I cut off from like the quilt thingy part, and I'm like, why would I not use them? Like, I can just piece those together and it will probably be just fine. Plus, I enjoy sewing a nice straight line, so let's do it! I didn't have any like gigantic pieces of batting left over, but I did have all these strips, so I just decided to like patchwork them together, and I was like, you know what, it's fine, it's gonna work, it just has to be a little puffy. It's just a cute little quilt sandwich. Hey, if you are still here and still watching, comment down below what your favorite kind of sandwich is, because I didn't eat a sandwich, like a deli sandwich, the whole time I was pregnant, because in my mind I thought that I was gonna get sick from them. No idea why, because I don't even think that's really a thing anymore, but I eat so many sandwiches now, so if you've got a favorite one, let me know. Or even like a place that sells sandwiches a la Subway or Jersey Mike's. In my personal opinion, Jersey Mike's is way higher on my list of places that I would actually eat over Subway, but in a pinch, Subway's fine. Like, it's okay. It's still a sandwich. Sandwiches. This will never be much of a professional page. Let's get real with ourselves and just accept it. Say it out loud with me. We're here for the vibes. Going ahead and trimming off the excess, cleaning up the little corners and the edges and everything like that. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Make sure you trim off all those tiny little threads. And then I absolutely committed myself to sitting on the couch, watching a movie, and hand stitching all of the binding down. You guys, this took hours, and there's no way that I'm gonna make you sit here and watch me like clip and stitch and sew by hand for hours and hours and hours, so you're just getting the really fast version. Nothing wrong there. Yeah, I think I did this for like 2 or 3 different nights, and I think we were watching Rome on HBO. If you haven't watched Rome but you liked Game of Thrones, yeah, Rome's a good watch. I couldn't sleep last night, so I've been up since 5 sewing this pillow. Honestly, I think it looks really good, and I'm pretty happy about it. Like, it's abstract, it's modern, but it's also kind of cute. Like, once you see it, and then you're like, oh, it is mountains in the sky, and is that a river or lake or something? And it's like, yes, that is what those things are. Also, it's been raining all morning and I'm kind of loving it. It feels right. I told you guys I wasn't gonna make you watch me stitch for like hours and hours and hours, and yet here I am. Somebody stop me. I'll stop you. I'm you from the future and I'm editing this bad boy. Okay, so obviously here's the reveal. I did go ahead and I embroidered some like cute little stars onto the night sky, and then I tried to do a flower like meadow on the mountains. Honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not to keep the flowers. Let me know what you think. I kind of don't like them, but if you guys like them, maybe I'll keep them and do more. Who knows? Here are the pillowcases. Honestly, so freaking cute. I love everything of this. I'm so happy with how this turned out. Honestly, looking at it, I feel like it's less of a quilt and more like a wall tapestry. And that makes my heart feel so happy because I've never really been much of a quilter. I've never really dove into that world. I've done a few small projects, but like aside from the quilted petticoat, I've not really done anything that I've planned from start to finish. And I mean, just look at this. Like I'm so happy with how the colors turned out. I'm so happy about the size of it. The embroidery's not that bad. My husband Chris was like looking at the stars and he was like, oh, it looks like you're looking at a star when you have astigmatism. And I was like, that's just what stars look like to me. I need to go to the eye doctor. And at first, when I bought all the supplies, I was just kind of guessing like a ballpark number of how much I would actually need. I mean, I overestimated, but it ended up being a good thing because now I have these two matching pillows that are freaking adorable, and like they're modern and they're color blocked, but it's still an image and it's quilted, which is awesome. Like I'm so happy and so proud of this. And it honestly makes me want to quilt more because this whole time I was just quilting with a regular sewing foot. I own a walking foot. It's right there. I just didn't want to walk down the stairs to go get it, which was a huge mistake, turns out, because a walking foot makes quilting a lot easier. I asked my sister-in-law, and that's literally what she said. She was like, walking feet will change your quilting life. And I was like, okay, this is the information I need for next time. And I guess it has a little attachment on it where you can like perfectly line up your lines. I needed that. I'm not mad that the lines aren't perfect, but next time, oh, they're gonna be so perfect. You're not even gonna want to like use it. That's how beautiful the quilt will be next time I make something like this, which might not even be too far in the future because I enjoyed this. It's kind of addicting. I get why, in my case, older women like grandmas and aunties do this kind of a thing. It's fun. I had a great time doing it. I'm really looking forward to doing another one. I didn't even mind the hand sewing that I did around the binding of everything. My hands do kind of hurt, so chronic pain. Obviously, I need to do more hand sewing just to get them strong again. But for the most part, stoked, thrilled, obsessed. Just so we're all clear, I did not come up with this quilt design. I 100% saw it on Pinterest and then I attempted to recreate it. You can buy a kit that is like the original design and it comes with like all the stuff you need, the fabric, the sizes. I'm pretty sure everything is already cut out. I could be wrong about that. And I'll link that down below. It's just when I went to go buy the quilt, because that was my first intention, was to just buy the quilt in a kit and then sew it together. But it was sold out when I went to go buy it, so I decided to just try my hand at it, and it turns out that I'm kind of good at this. That's it for today, / a full week of working on it. You guys probably watched this in what, 15-20 minutes? Lucky. If you are not subscribed, now is the time to do that. Hit the bell icon below to get notified when I post, which, remember, is not gonna be super consistent for a while because I don't really know what my schedule is gonna be like and my life is weird sometimes. So there's that. Go ahead and like this video and follow me on Instagram at Alexandria Lane. And remember, in this house, we craft in pajamas. You know, as I sat here and edited this video, months after I had filmed it, I was like watching myself and I was like judging myself for not having clean hair and no makeup on. And I'm like, I look like this right now. I'm worse now than I was before because it's just me and the baby. I'm also like 100% trying to hide my pregnancy during this video, and I have like things in front of me, like pillows and stuff and camera angles and whatnot. It's not a secret anymore, and the baby's here. He's right there. I just probably am not ever gonna show you guys. Bye.